So when we're labeling the sides of a right triangle in order to find sine, cosine, or tangent, we're labeling the sides as opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse. And we're normally just going to label the sides with the first letter, so we don't need to write out the full name. So we're going to be labeling an O, an A, or an H. All right, so let's look at this example right here. The first side we always want to label is hypotenuse, all right? When we are working with a right triangle, the hypotenuse will always be the longest side. So right here we can see that 13 is bigger than 12 and bigger than 5. So we're going to label an H for the hypotenuse. And we also know that that's the hypotenuse because it is directly across from the right angle, right? We have two angles in all of our triangles. The hypotenuse is across from the right angle. So after the hypotenuse, the next thing we're going to label is adjacent. Adjacent means next to, and once we're done with the hypotenuse, we're always looking at the angle that's not our right angle. So it's this angle right here. I've written them with curved lines in this video because that's what I think you'll see on Khan Academy. We've also in class been normally writing that as a theta. All right, so adjacent is next to that angle. So right here we have the 5 and the 12 we're still working with. The 5 is what's next to the angle, so we're going to label the 5 with an A. And the 12 is left over, so that's going to be our opposite, which we also know because it is directly opposite our angle. All right, so let's try this next one right here. Our longest side here is 25, so 25 is our hypotenuse. If we look and find our angle, it is up here this time, so that means that adjacent is the one that's next to it. Adjacent is the 13, and that leaves 24, which is all the way across from our angle as the opposite. All right, moving on. This one is a little trickier to look at just because it's upside down from what we're used to, but we still just need to follow the same steps. So first thing is the hypotenuse, which is the longest side. That's our 5. And then if we find our angle, that's not up here, that's our right angle. Down here is the angle we need to look at. And so we're going to look at the number next to that angle. And next to that angle is 3, so 3 is adjacent. And 4 is left over, so 4 is opposite. All right, go ahead, pause the video, and try this one by yourself. Then click play again to get the answers. All right, so what you should have done is look to find your longest side. So longest side is 50, so 50 is your hypotenuse. Then you look and find your angle, which is up here. And our adjacent side to the angle, that's our side that is next to the angle, is 48. So you label A with your 48, and then go down to your 36 is opposite. All right, if you didn't get that one, don't worry. We have another one. Go ahead, pause the video, and try this one by yourself. All right, so our longest side here is going to be hypotenuse, so our longest side is 15. We put a H next to the 15. Looks like I did not actually give you an angle for this one, so let's fix that. Let's make that the angle. All right, so that means that next to the angle is 12, so 12 will be our adjacent, and that leaves 9 as the opposite. All right, since you couldn't do that one, let's have one more really quickly. All right, so let's have your angle down here, and we'll make that side a 6. That side can be 8, and that side is 10. All right, go ahead, pause the video, and try that. All right, so our longest side here is 10, so 10 is the hypotenuse. We look and find our angle down here. That means that 6 is next to the angle, so 6 is our adjacent, and that leaves 8 as our opposite.